record so we can track the wonderful work we're doing here. So welcome everyone. I am so glad you're able to join us. This is our second session of quarterly business coaching, focusing on our 2023 SMART goals. That's hosted by Randy McCray. So welcome. I am Samantha Williams. I am the president, founder of the Collaboration of Minority Women Professionals, which is an organization we created back in 2018 to provide a space, a table to celebrate, amplify, support Black women in entrepreneurship, minority women in entrepreneurship. From that, we formed our nonprofit CMWP Foundation, which is an entrepreneurial support organization supporting Black and minority men, women, and children. So we are brought here today through a wonderful opportunity that we have. We are partnering with CROG, the Capital Region Council of Governments, to provide quarterly entrepreneurial support. So that includes business coaching, like we are here today. So after this, we have 2 more sessions of business coaching that Randy will be facilitating. We have quarterly business workshops. Our next business workshop is next month. I will be doing a 2-hour presentation on business certifications and capability statements. So get ready for that. Get your questions ready. People already asking me questions. Hold them till February 15th, 12 to 2. We're here on Zoom to do that work. We're also providing holistic entrepreneurial wellness. So look out for that. And then we have networking meetups. This opportunity that we have to provide this work is focused in the greater Hartford region. So our networking meetups have been taking place in the greater Hartford area, and that's to fulfill the work that we were assigned through this contract that we have. The entrepreneurial wellness may also be happening in the greater Hartford area, but our business coaching and our workshops are all online. So I am going to pass it to Letitia, who is our co-founder and vice president.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see everyone on the call, some familiar faces, some new faces. So my name is Letitia Douglas. I am the vice president of the collaboration and also one of the founders. And so in addition to the collaboration, I am also in tech. So I also do some tech consulting on the data analytics, data science side. So I'm familiar with the whole consulting thing, Gregory. And I am also a real estate investor and a trader. So just glad to be here. Looking forward to seeing everyone at our future events. I did put some links in the chat. I put the link to our website, the homepage of our website. And I also put the link to the next event that Samantha mentioned, which is the capability statements and business certification. So the direct link to register in Eventbrite is in the chat. So now I want to pass it on to the third member of our leadership team and also the host of today's event, Randy McCray. So she's going to lead us through and walk us through the business goal setting workshop.
Thank you, Letitia. My name is Randy McCray. Part of my day responsibilities is I have my own consultant firm, which works with nonprofit private sector companies and organizations around strategic planning, operations, as well as diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. As part of this leadership team with these wonderful bosses, Samantha and Letitia, I focus mostly on strategy and operations as part of the work that we're doing under the foundation in our collaboration network. And so today we're really going to engage in our second session business coaching. As part of the work that I do under my consultant firm, I spend probably 75% of my time coaching groups through their challenges to reach their goals. So this is work I get to do all day, every day, and I absolutely love. I identified, they always say, what's your highest and best? And of all the different things that I am capable of doing, I always felt my highest and best was being able to help people think through their challenges and think strategically about how to put a plan in place to address those challenges. So I say that to say, a lot of times people think coaching is about meeting with someone or a group of people and someone telling you what you should do next. Whereas we in this work see coaching as helping you to think through those challenges, and hopefully develop a plan that you think would lead you to successfully achieving goals. So it's really like a thought partnership, offering other options and other perspectives of a way of looking at a challenge, of looking at the destination point and seeing how might you get there. We designed this process to be several sessions, hoping that people would be at each of the sessions. So we had sort of a process which would which assumed that the same people would be here and more people would join us along the way. We know and recognize and still appreciate you all being here and know that some of you might be new here today. So we've made some changes to account for that and to also provide an opportunity for you to stay connected and remain engaged with us and others, so that you don't just attend this and then you kind of go back off on your own. Coaching is really meant to be interactive, right? So it's not really one person giving you some information and then you go away with that information. It's really meant to be a collaborative process, working either in a group setting with others who can help you see things from different perspectives, or working, if you were in a one-on-one coaching scenario, working with that person to go through a series of exercises to help you reach the goal that you're trying to achieve. So for those of you who were not here during our first session, we talked a lot about what business goals are, why they are important, what are short and long, the differences between short and long-term goals, and how do we set business goals. And then we talked about setting SMART goals. So Samantha and Letitia know, as they lead every Monday for our collaboration, that we have Manifestation Mondays, and each individual is supposed to identify a SMART goal, and then we check in each week with each other on that goal, and we always have a hot topic where we discuss things. But the point of that setting really is for people to think strategically about their goals by using the SMART acronym, which is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound, right? So it's not enough to say, I want to lose this many pounds or I want to get healthy. It's really thinking about, a specific thing that you want to do. Can it be measured, right? And can you actually achieve it? And is it realistic, right? And then putting a time frame around it. And then each week we meet to do some accountability with each other to see where we are in our goals. And it really creates a space for us to, especially as entrepreneurs, working in isolation or working independently, it gives us a collective space to support each other and offer any type of support if people run into barriers or challenges. So using the SMART goal model and a group coaching setting really helps us think strategically about our goals, as well as have accountability partners in that process. And so a little bit of today will be a demonstration of how you can actually do that. Some of you set your SMART goals during our first session. Others of you may have SMART goals you already have in place. As we are going through, you can actually create one. Take a goal that you have in mind and using the SMART acronym say, is it specific? Is it measurable? Can I achieve it? Is it realistic? And what's the time frame in which I want to achieve that goal? So if you weren't at the previous session, using that acronym, you could think through a goal that you have in the back of your mind and turn it into a SMART goal. So that way, when we get to sort of that part of our session today, you'd have something to actually engage in conversation with. A part of today will be an activity, and then we'll break up into some smaller groups, and then there's be some other follow-up action items from there. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead. Does anyone have any questions? Awesome. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And as a facilitator, I always do sort of like a quick check-in, temperature check, and a little icebreaker. So for today, being that we are 18 days into 2023 and 2 + 3 = 5, I want to ask folks, I joke a lot, so just get used to it. All my clients, they're used to it at this point. I want to ask folks to just share one good thing that you're looking forward to in 2023. Don't think of a challenge. Just tell me one good thing that you're looking forward to this year. And it doesn't have to be in a specific time frame. It doesn't have to be the whole year. Just one thing that you're looking forward to. And I want to honor space and time. So I ask that when you unmute yourself to share, that you give us the Cliff Notes version of that one good thing and not the extended version. Please feel free to engage in other ways with us to talk more. But right now, I just want you to share one good thing, and I want people to hear from you. And I see that some people aren't on camera, and that could be okay, but it'd be nice to turn on your cameras if you can, so we can see you share that one good thing and all the enthusiasm on your face when you share it. So
Well, I
Samantha,
can go. Yes, I can
yes,
go
Samantha.
first. I am looking forward to growing my team, and I just made my first offer and it was accepted right before this call. So and it was the #1 person I wanted. So I'm so excited.
So Samantha, before I can finish giving you the instructions, this is what we're gonna do. Samantha's gonna go, and then she's gonna pitch it to somebody else until we go around to everybody. So Samantha, now that you
Oh,
shared,
everybody has to share. All right,
yes.
I'm gonna go with.
So Samantha, who's next?
I'm gonna go with D because she's smiling at me.
D.
Hi, my one goal, so last year I had a lot of loss in my family, in my immediate family. And so my one thing for this year is a mantra that I have given my entire family is that we are going to celebrate life. And no matter what lemons are thrown at us, we are going to make lemonade and we are going to celebrate every moment. I told my dad when he gets a haircut, we're going to celebrate that.
Yes, sharp haircut.
And I will go to Takesha.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Dee. This year, I'm looking forward to traveling abroad. That's the big thing with my mom. You know, she had open heart surgery last year, so you know, to kind of celebrate her, you know, doing well, we're going on a trip, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, Takesha. And I'm glad you're
Oh,
not
and I'm gonna pass it to Gregory.
Thank you. I see a theme here. Everybody likes to travel, so I also wanted to travel to go see my mother-in-law in another country. So that's about it for me. So I'm very excited about that, and I guess I will pass it over to Vernatha. Did I say your name right?
Yes, you did. Good job. So one of my goals for this year is to grow my clientele. I did share in the last, some of you guys were here, the meeting that I own a wellness studio, yoga / wellness studio. And so I am in the growing phase. So I am looking to grow my clientele both in a group setting, which I offer weekly group sessions in the evenings and some mornings, and also to grow my one-on-one private sessions as well. Thank you. Hi, Randy.
Hi. Who do you want to pass it to?
I will pass it over to Novia.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon. For me, this year, growth is just something huge for me. Whether it be like taking on courses, or anything of that nature, and growth within my business. I'm an event planner and decorator. So my name is Novia. I'm the owner of Divine Design Events. So if you see that name and you start seeing it a little more, you know that I have done what I needed to do. And then I'm going to pass it to Andrea.
And everyone, put your information in the chat too, so that we can connect with you, follow you.
Okay.
Well, I'm hoping to move homes this year, so that's what I'm looking forward to move into a new place.
Andrea, I'm sorry, you said moving to a new place this year?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm hoping to move homes. Yeah, so yeah. Has Latricia?
Latricia? She hasn't gone yet, no. Or they haven't gone yet, I'm not sure. Latricia, can you hear us? We're sharing one good thing that we're looking forward to this year. So if you can hear us, you can unmute yourself and share that. Stacy, who doesn't have a microphone, put in the chat that they are looking forward to growing their business. So Stacy, if you can just add the business that you are in that you're looking forward to grow, and any other information that we can connect and follow you on with. So since Latricia didn't go, I will just share the next person. So Lavina, would you like to go? One thing you're looking forward to this year.
Yes. Sorry, I'm not meeting ready. One thing I look forward to this year is traveling. Lots of travel.
Awesome. And we just have 2 more people who have not gone yet, and I'll just name them in the order that I see them on my screen. And so I see Sam, grant writer Sam. Do you want to unmute and tell us one thing you're looking forward to this year?
Well, Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to Sam and to Letitia. Good to see you guys again. This is an awesome, awesome group. I go out of my way to schedule it and to try and take in as many meetings as you guys have. Tremendous. One thing I'm trying to improve upon is I use a lot of paper in my business, as you can imagine. I'm trying to cut down on that. I'm looking for as many electronic solutions, alternatives as much as possible. Please share everything. I'm trying to just be more economic and more climate and more paperless in 2023. And that's basically it.
Thank you, Sam, for sharing that. And last but definitely not least, we have Simone. Simone, if you can hear us, if you could unmute yourself and tell us one thing you're looking forward to in 2023.
Hi, everyone. I think the thing I'm looking forward to most as I grow my skill set is just seeing what opportunities lead to that after taking courses or just researching my skill set more. I own a stationery company called Fearless Prints, and we have just expanded into custom designs and custom gifts. So it's making me really stretch my creativity and my design skill. So I'm looking forward to, as I grow in that and grow in clientele, seeing what other opportunities come my way.
Oh, thank you. So these are all great. I didn't share anything because I can't possibly think of anything at the moment. But if I had to come up with something real quickly, something I shared with somebody the other day was that I'm just really looking forward to maximizing my moments of joy in a space where you're doing so many different things and you are so many things to so many people. It is easy to only get minimum amounts of joy for yourself, and because you're delivering all that joy to others. So this year I'm going to try to be more intentional about maximizing moments of joy for myself. And sometimes that includes people and sometimes it doesn't. So that is one thing I'm looking forward to this year, to being real intentional about that. And since we are right at 12:30, I'm just going to jump into the next thing I want to do on this session so that we can get to more about you. So again, all those things you all listed in the chat, the reason I asked you to list those and to think about that, I want you to write yours down. And I want you to take that one thing that you're looking forward to and actually develop a SMART goal around that and put a time frame on it, right? So for me, when I say maximize my moments of joy, I'm going to actually schedule time in my calendar deliberately and put something in there that I will hold myself accountable to. And when I say in terms of time, within the next 3 months, I'm going to block off a certain amount of time where I'm doing that intentionally, and then come back to it. And in terms of being realistic, I'm not going to do something like travel again to Senegal, because that's not realistic in 3 months, but it's something that would maximize my joy. But I'm going to find something else that I could do in the next 3 months that would maximize my joy. And it's using that wonderful massage gift certificate Samantha gave me, and then buying a membership. I am following her lead. Sometimes the young can lead the older. So I'm following her lead and signing up, right? Because I follow her and I know her, but I'm noticing the intentionality of getting those moments of care. And I am going to use the gift card she gave me within the next month. And then I'm going to sign up to go every month, like try to find time to do that. So that's one goal related to my wants and desires that I'm actually putting in place. And the reason I'm mentioning that and giving you that as an example is because in the work that I do, it's too often people think about their goals in the moment. What we try to do as consultants is develop practices that people continually come back to so that they don't always need us to be so hands-on. So the first year that I work with a client, I spend a lot of time with them, but throughout the year, I am giving them tools and strategies so that they can continue those practices on their own. And then they're touching base with me periodically instead of me being at 3 meetings in the same week, like one of my newer clients. I'm like every meeting, and I'm like, you guys don't need me at every meeting, right? If you take these tools and these strategies and put them in your toolkit, you can do this without me. So my core principle as a person is to give people tools and strategies where they can continue this practice. So you can look at your personal goals as a person and use this SMART sort of acronym or SMART framework. And then you can also translate that once you pick up that habit and that practice of creating goals with this framework, you can filter that into all other aspects of your life and your being, including your health and well-being, as well as your business. So that's why I had us do that exercise. While we're moving through, I wanted to challenge you to take that one good thing you're looking forward into and actually turn it into a SMART goal using this framework. I don't have time to revisit that whole thing, but you can Google it and you are going to see so many resources about SMART goals. So I am definitely not the beginning, end, or even the middle of all of that. It's all out there for you if you just Google it. So if you want to know more about the SMART framework and what that means and why we use it, in the context of the collaboration, as well as this coaching experience, you can Google that and get more information on it. So our agenda today is really going to focus on what we just did, that one good thing. I'm going to share a motivation moment with you all. Then we're going to do an activity and have some smaller group discussions. And then there's going to be things that we ask you to do after today and things we ask you to do before the next session. And there's a nice little surprise at the end for all of you that joined us today. So I love Leslie Jones, but something about this as I facilitate a lot. So I spend probably a good 80% of my work week facilitating group discussions and doing individual and group coaching. And so as I am navigating and ingesting content through media and other platforms, I'm always looking for ways to share that in the work that I do. So Leslie Jones was on The View. I watch The View every day. And there was something, there's bits and pieces of this that you can take and apply to your personal growth and development, as well as your business growth and development. So I want to start us off by using this message. Some of you who watched The View may have seen it. And if you've seen it, sorry, it's a repeat. But if you've seen it, great. And if you haven't, enjoy. But I want to share this with you as it leads to one of the things that we're going to do today.
We are back with Leslie Jones.
Okay, so we heard about your experience with pirates, but we do want to know about your dating life. Can you give us some updates? I heard there's psychic involved, like a lot of psychics involved.
Well, you know,
I'm a fast forward some
during
of this.
COVID, I was boring.
I'm a fast forward some of that because we don't need to hear her dating life. It's the latter part of this that I want to get to.
As you do that, I actually just watched her clip from the Daily Show when she talked about the magnificent new statue that's in Boston. She's hilarious.
The statue.
The embrace. The embrace. Yes.
The embrace. There's very mixed receptions to that statue, so I'm going to withhold my comment on that.
We are back with Leslie Jones.
Okay, so we heard about your experience with pirates, but we do want to know about your dating life. Can you give us some updates? I heard there's psychic involved, like a lot of psychics involved.
Well, you know, during COVID, I was boring, and there was this little thing that was like, hey, $29.99 will draw your soulmate. And this dude, it was such a loving, sweet letter, like, oh, I want people to be in love and whoop, whoop, whoop. And I was like, oh, dude, take my money. You know what I'm saying? So they sent me this picture. Who did that? I know a property brother when I see one. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
See,
That is a property brother.
Somebody was watching HGTV when they do that.
Yeah.
And that's the man of your dream. That's the one that you're
no,
your
that's
soulmate.
not. That's not. No, that's not.
$29.99 says it is.
$29.99 is exactly what I would get for that. And listen, I paid $10 extra for it to be in color. So yeah, the dating circuit is great.
What about the Italian psychic though?
Oh, the Italian, that's when I went to Italy, and I love me a psychic. I'm sorry, I just
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe it or not, I just love psychics because I just, who sits and go, yeah, I saw this in my brain. Like, and the Italian psychic put down the first card, and I was like, I want this to be about my relationship. She put down the first card, and she goes, oh, so many mistakes. I was like, tracks.
Yes.
Yes.
Right on, Britt.
Well,
Go ahead, baby.
you've been doing stand-up since the late 80s.
Yes,
So
87.
you have put the work in. We
Yes,
know
baby.
that. But I just learned this today. Right before you got the SNL gig, you were thinking about quitting comedy.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this, Whoopi. You know what's so funny when people love to throw that about to quit. There's no such thing as about to quit something that I've been doing for 20, 30 years. There's frustration. There's rethinking, like, okay, maybe I'm not taking the right path to get to where I need to. And at that time, I was older. I was a headliner, and I was doing these gigs, and you know how the gigs is. I was in Indianapolis when I found out that I wasn't gonna get SNL, and I was just sitting in that hotel room, and you're older, and you go, I just had to fight the promoter for my money, and you're like, I don't know how much longer I can do this, and I'm really good at what I do, but how much longer can I do this? But the next day you wake up and go, all right, I guess I got a gig in Missouri and Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Yeah. Because that's anybody's, and that's what I want to tell everybody. It's okay to come home and go, I want to quit. It's okay.
I do it all the time.
Exactly. As long as you get up the next day
and go.
and do what you got to do.
Yeah,
And what people fail, and I'm gonna say this because this just sounds cliche, but I'm gonna say this. You are in control of your happiness. You are. Not your job, not your love, not your money, not your advice. You are. If you're not happy, find out what makes you happy. If there's a goal, you're not dead. You can start at 99. You're not dead.
Yeah. Right.
Go. Right. And stop complaining about it. Everybody going through what you're not special. You're not special.
So,
You know what?
Let's go.
I wanted to share that because there were a couple of pieces there. Of course, Leslie Jones is a comedian, so it has a lot of comedic influence in the whole thing, but there's a lot of like nuggets in there, right? And a couple of things that stood out to me was really around, as a consultant, I experienced this directly, and I think it's just a part of working with people is that we're often looking for other people to make the things happen for us. So we set goals and we're waiting for these other components or things to kind of come in and make them happen, right? And when they don't happen, we're struggling to figure out like why that didn't happen, right? Why am I not getting the things? Why am I not moving forward? And I always ask my clients, well, what were the actual inputs you put in to get to the outputs, right? Like walk me through the steps and strategies. And I'm constantly reminding them that they are in charge of how successful they are in reaching their goals, not me. I'm merely a guide to help you think through a strategy to get there, but you have to do the things, right? And people tend to go back and say, well, I didn't do this. And I say, there's no time like today to start. I'm not concerned with what your business hasn't done or the goals it hasn't achieved. I'm more concerned about how you can start today to develop a strategy to help you be successful. So those are some of the things that I walked away with listening to that. And then also just not getting so focused on the things that I don't yet, but really keeping my eye towards the things that I can look ahead to, right? And so, you know, we all as businesses and business owners miss some opportunities, but that's okay because there could be opportunities waiting down the road for us. And the goal is to continue to keep that in mind and continue to work towards those. So I'd love to hear from one or two folks, anything else that stood out for them as it relates to their growth as a business and some of the things that you all put in the chat, because just about everybody mentioned growth in some capacity, right? And so when you think about what Leslie shared and not how she shared it, but what she shared, what are some things that come to mind for you that you can take away as it relates to your growth and development as a business owner or personally that can help you get towards your goals?
I can go, and it's something that was mentioned on the BBA call this morning. There's a few people in the call here who was on this morning, where remember we were talking at the end about failure and how failure is a part of success and it's a part of the process. And there's so much you learn through failure that, you know, sometimes those are your best lessons to get you to the next step. And so I think that was one of the best messages that she had in there was like, you know, I go home, I didn't get the role. I guess, you know, I'm ready to give up. And then tomorrow's a brand new day. Oh, I got these gigs lined up, right? What's next? So yes, maybe that wasn't your opportunity and everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that every single thing happens for a reason. So that closed door was supposed to happen to lead you to where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Letitia. I always say you have to fail your way to the top. I heard that somewhere and I totally agree because every failure, you take some kind of lesson learned away from it. And it's always just about looking forward and not back, right? If you failed, it happened, and the more energy you put into stressing about the failure is the less energy you have to put into succeeding going forward. So I'm very much into have your 5-second rule to dwell over the failure, and then it's time to move on and put all the energy forward.
I love that you said that, especially in terms of moving forward. So one of my friends asked me one time, we were talking about like something that happened in the past and why I don't really think about it and I don't give it much energy. And she says, well, she said, I always appreciate it. But we've been friends over 20 something years. She's always appreciated about that. I noticed that about you, like you just keep moving forward. And she's like, how do you do that? And I was like, well, I'm not going in that direction. So the more time I spend there, I can't get to the place that I'm actually going. And so I think I've spent more than 5 seconds, Letitia, but I choose to spend less time worrying about a thing that has already occurred and focusing on, okay, well, what can I do to move forward? I saw V, I think you were is it okay to call you V? Because I've been calling you V for years. Is it okay to call you V? Okay. I saw V about to unmute herself, so I want to let you go.
Yes, thank you. Well, basically, just to piggyback off of what everyone's saying so far, I really believe it takes a mindset shift, right? To be a little more positive, no matter what has happened, in your journey. And so I've had many examples of, having to basically pivot, right, from the original plan or what you envisioned, and to learn that whatever that shift or change is, it is for your higher good. And so you need to just kind of learn to allow things to be what it is and just, prepare yourself by shifting with that change and adjusting as needed to follow through. Just this morning or the last couple of days, I had a yoga teacher who decided that she no longer wants to teach in the studio. And where I could have been like overwhelmed, like, oh my God, now I got back to square one, looking for another yoga teacher, I just kind of stepped in. In the meantime, I taught her class this morning and it was like, okay, it's not a big deal. And on the low, there were some, underlying issues that was kind of feeling and kind of like giving me hints that this teacher was kind of on her way out. So it was like, okay, I was kind of prepared for it in a way. And so I didn't, when it finally came down, I wasn't like feeling stressed or overwhelmed or frantic about what the next steps is. I just kind of trusted, like, okay, I felt within my spirit that it was not the right alignment for her. And I had to kind of just, make peace with it. And now I'm deciding what to do moving forward. So, yeah.
Thank you, V. Any one last comment, and trust me, you'll have more opportunities to contribute because you're going to do some smaller group discussions in a bit. So there'll be more time to chat, but I'll take one or two more brief comments before we transition into our activity. Oh, Takesha, I'm sorry. There you go.
That's okay. Yeah, one that resonated with me was, her saying that it's okay to say, I don't want to do this, when you have a rough time. And, to give yourself grace. Entrepreneurship is hard, being, going out there, doing that type of work of entertaining others or consulting, coaching others. It is, it takes a lot of energy. So when things don't go as you envisioned, you could, feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. But I resonated with give yourself grace, and then you'll realize the next day, sleep on it and get back to it, because you're doing something that you obviously love and you're called to do.
Thank you. Thank you. And Gregory, I saw you moving your gesturing your arms. So if you want to give us our last comment, you're more than welcome to do that.
No, I was just agreeing with Takesha. Like I related to like accepting the failure, and then when you wake up the next day starting all over again and not dwelling on what happened, but give yourself a little kind of just a bit of more grace period to kind of like say you stop for now, but then you get back up on that horse and you do it all over again and think about doing stuff for yourself in the future, because it's too easy to kind of get, like for me anyways, I have this rut of kind of getting up in the morning and doing my job and stuff like that, whereas I need to really work on the bigger life goals with my consulting company and moving forward on things for myself, right? So
thank you all. Those are great insights that I'm loving that you are sharing with the community. So one of the best things about group coaching settings is that we can actually learn from each other. I don't know all the information. None of us usually knows the information. I'm learning every day. I continually learn, even though when I'm in the facilitative role and I'm working with my clients, I'm also learning from them. And I stress that this is a collaborative learning process. So I do value and love actually group coaching the best because you can actually hear from other people who may be navigating something similar and how they were able to navigate around it. It also serves as inspiration for us to keep going. I think I speak for quite a few of us on this call that we may not have large teams and large staffs and EAP programs, right? Where for the majority of our time, we are working independently on our business. And it's nice to come in a community of people who understands and speaks your language to hear from them. So I'm glad that you all are sharing your insights and your experiences and things that can be helpful to others. We have a couple of folks who just joined us. We have just watched the video and shared a couple of things, and we're about to jump into our activity for this session. So I just wanted to welcome you. And this session is being recorded. So if you did join us late and you want to catch any of the beginnings, or if you want to catch the first session, the recordings are definitely available. So I'm gonna do, so part of group coaching involves, that initial engagement where we talk about what are some of your hopes, dreams, and desires, and then we try to formulate those into some specific goals so that you can have something to track and measure along the way. One of the things that I had envisioned for this entire engagement over multi-sessions is really going through a visualization process for those of us that are still trying to develop new goals, adjust our goals, or we're thinking of some other things that we hope and desire and want for ourselves this year. Because I think a few of you mentioned pivoting and changing and wanting different things. Things around us change all the time. The environment changes, our responsibilities changes, our roles change, businesses change, clients change, staff, collaborators change. So sometimes if you have goals in place or something you envisioned in mind, those surrounding factors can cause you to have to readjust those goals, right? And so, and as I mentioned a moment ago, just giving people tools that they can adopt ongoing, right? So yeah, there's information and they're sharing in this community, but I want to offer for the next part of this session, a tool that you can use in thinking about your goals. And it can be from the thing you identified at the beginning of the session or something you already had in the back of your mind. But the objective is to leave this experience with something concrete that you can share in your smaller groups. And then I'm going to give you another thing to do after that with this. So this is intended to be multi-part. There will be some engagement required from you in this, and there will be some follow-up after this session to help, really you, right? So nothing I do is about me solely, right? So when I work with groups, it's really about empowering and offering resources and tools for you. So this works when you do, right? And I always tell people that I can talk all I want and give you information, but it works if you do. So a tool is a tool. You have to actually use it and exercise it. So we're giving you things that we hope will help you along the way, along this journey with growing yourself and your business. So we're really going to go through a goal visualization, and it's a guided experience where you're going to do some silent reflections and things like that. Maybe you'll take notes along the way. If you are better with that, you can actually turn off your camera and mute your audio for this, so that as you're reflecting and thinking, when you get into that deep thought, you don't want people staring at you. So you can turn your cameras off for this, but I'm just going to bring you through a series of prompts to help you get through this first part of this exercise. And then the second part, we're going to go into some smaller breakout groups so you can discuss what it was like for you to do this, what some insights you gained from it, and then some things that you will do as a result of this, and how you will stay connected with your smaller groups after this. So if you will, you can mute your audio and mute your cameras. And I'm even going to mute mine so that that's helpful.
We can't hear you, Randy.
Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. I was trying to hit video. So feel free to take notes. And as I'm going through the prompts for your small breakout sessions after. So if you have a moment, I want you to remove all distractions from around you. This includes your cell phone. Any distractions you have around you, so that you can bring your complete attention and presence to this exercise. I want you to get comfortable. Make sure that wherever you're sitting or wherever you are physically located at this moment, that you're comfortable. And try to relax your mind and focus on what's happening right here in this moment right now. So to do that, a way to slow down could be to take a few deep, slow breaths so that you can relax. And so for the next few minutes, I'm going to just ask you to listen and imagine. That's all you're going to do. Please do not fall asleep, but simply relax and imagine. So once you find your place of relaxation mentally and physically, I want you to start by thinking about one thing you'd like to accomplish in the next year of your life. One thing you'd like to accomplish in the next year of your life. So we already have a time, right? So we're thinking if we had to check back in with each other by January 18th, 2024, this would be one thing you would come back to all of us and say, I did it, right? So think of one thing that you can accomplish in the next year. This can be a relationship goal, it could be an educational goal, personal goal, or a business goal. So if you want to just practice this exercise before applying it to a business goal, you're welcome to, or you can identify a particular business goal right now. So as you're thinking about that goal, I want you to take a moment to bring the goal forward and visualize it in your consciousness, or in your mind's eye, as they say. So take a moment to bring that forward and visualize it in your mind's eye. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Now, or once you have that personal goal in mind, I'd like you to imagine yourself going forward in time into the future, whether it be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks. And think about, have you started working towards achieving that goal? And what you've been doing towards making sure you achieve it. What decisions have you made? What actions have you taken? And how does being one step closer to success and achieving that goal make you feel? So if we were 1 month in to achieving that goal, what actions would you have taken to be successful? And how does it feel to be a month closer to that goal? Now I want you to imagine that you're 6 months into reaching that goal. You are significantly closer to achieving that goal. You're starting to feel the benefits or see the success. You're starting to see the benefits of your efforts. You're starting to see some movement towards your destination. What does it feel like? How does it feel to be much closer to your goal? And notice any feelings or emotions tied to this moment. Is it celebratory? Are you feeling exhausted? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling inspired and motivated to keep moving towards that goal? Now, I want you to think about 1 year from now. You've accomplished that goal. You've reached success. I want you to visualize that in your mind and jot down some mental notes for yourself. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with, if anyone? What are people saying? What does the headline in newspaper say or on the magazine cover say about you? And what are you saying to them? Continue to think about what emotions are tied to this achievement. What feelings of pride, joy, or satisfaction do you feel? And then think back on your journey. Look back at the process. Look at all the hard work and effort and consideration and intentionality you put in to reach this goal, step by step. What are the little things you did day by day? What are the things that you did within your business or your personal life that helped you get there? Were there any internal changes that you had to make? Were there difficult thoughts or emotional obstacles? Were there any strategies that you used to help you stay the course to get there? Take a moment and think about all the things that helped you manage those challenges and obstacles along the way. And create a mental note for yourself or some physical notes if needed. And when you're done with your reflection, I'm going to invite you to unmute your video so that I know that you're ready. Or you can use the reaction icons to let us know that you've finished the reflections and you're ready to rejoin the conversation for. I'm going to pause here so you can continue with the reflection. Summarize the notes in your mind for those prompts. And when you're ready, you can unmute your camera or use the reaction buttons to let us know that you're ready to come back for the second part of the exercise. Awesome. I see people rejoining us. And as people are rejoining us, I'll tell you what we're going to do next. So you're going to have an opportunity to partner up with a few folks in a small group discussion to share your thoughts on the exercise, share what you visualize, share what steps you took to achieve the goal, how it made you feel, and what did you learn from the experience? And are there any insights that you took from this exercise that can help you with goals that you're working on now? At the end of your conversation, we will give you a 2-minute warning of when we're going to close the breakout groups. Before you leave that group, you're going to exchange contact information with your partners. It's very important for a next step part of this experience. So whoever you're in that group with, make sure you get each other's contact information. The breakout groups are random because I didn't know who was going to be here today. So there is no specific methodology that's used to pair people together. It's all going to be through the Zoom algorithm. So they're random, but make sure you exchange contact information with those in your particular group. So before we go into our breakout groups, does anybody have any questions? Questions, thoughts, ideas? Feel free to take a picture, as I see Dee has already done. If you need to remember these prompts, once I put you in your breakout rooms, I will drop them in the chat as well. But does anybody have any questions before we go into our breakout? All right. So I see a few folks are not on video. Some folks, you're here twice, so I'm going to try to monitor and make sure your audio or both of your sessions are in the same breakout group. If you have any issues, come back to the main room. Letitia, Samantha, and myself will still be here, and we'll try to help get you into one of the rooms. It'll be 2 to 3 persons per room. So just make sure you share the space and take space. And we'll give you about 15 to 20 minutes to have a really rich discussion with each other. As I said before, group coaching is not just about learning from the guide, the facilitator, but also learning from each other. So it'd be great to have others hear about some of the strategies you used and you to hear about strategies they use that could be helpful as you're moving forward with achieving your SMART goals that you have identified. So I'm going to create the breakout groups. Stacey, I'm going to make sure you're in both rooms. Okay, Stacey, I have to move you to the other room. You're in both. Okay, so it really looks like it'll be 2 persons per room, which is fine. I'm opening all the rooms. Please accept your invitation to join your room. If for any reason you lose the invitation or can't see it on your phone, there should be a button that says breakout rooms, and you can click that at any time to join the room that you're assigned to. Again, you'll get a prompt before we're about to close the rooms. Make sure you have a good discussion with your partners on the different prompts and exchange the information, contact information with each other after. The rooms are open and you can join as soon as you see the prompt on your screen.
During this recording?
Aren't you going to cut it out? You don't edit the recordings before you share? Right. Oh yeah, they're closing in 36 seconds. I'm sure I hit the close button.
It was getting good. You said 15 minutes.
It was 15 minutes, but I know some people took a minute for them to hit that button, but it's
Well,
about
now
15.
y'all gotta schedule a follow-up call. Were y'all two together? Yeah?
Yeah, it was us three, Andrea
Oh, yeah.
and Novia.
Well, there y'all go. Now y'all got to network again.
Well, awesome. I noticed a few people, we lost one or two folks. They had to go early, but we have about 10 minutes and I have a few final things I want to share before we jump off the call, but I definitely want to hear from you all. Like, you don't have to respond to all of the prompts. You don't have to give us a deep dive, but just choose one thing that you'd like to share with doing that exercise or some insight you got from it. So one to three folks maybe can share what this exercise was like for them or what insight they got from it, what they valued, what they will do with it later on, anything you want to share related to this exercise. Who wants to kick us off?
This is Julian. Can I share?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I didn't get to really dive into the visualization because I'm at work, but you know, just the first few questions made me slow my thoughts down. You know what I mean? And that alone, I think for me it's something that I need, because as I shared with my partner, I can be busy being busy all day, at the end of the day, extremely tired, but not productive. You know, how many things did I accomplish? I'm doing 10 things, but you know, what did I accomplish? All 10 are undone. Maybe not 10, but most of it is undone. So I need that constant reminder to stay on track. I have tried multiple things, but as I was talking, I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I should do the vision board. But then as I was talking again, it came to mind. I said I would probably do the vision board and make it my screensaver, because that is one thing I check way too often, my phone. And if every time I pick up the phone, you know, it's there, you know, I get to make that decision. Am I going to do what I'm doing? Or, you know, is it what I need to do?
And that's what they say. Take your goals and put them in your face. Put it somewhere where you're gonna have to watch them. You're gonna have to look at them and be reminded of your goals.
And I know I am my best enemy, you know, because like I said, being busy, but not being productive.
And it happens to all of us. The reason I use these types of exercises with my folks that I work with is we can all come up with great ideas and we can all think. I always saw myself as a person that helps people think strategically. And it's part of what makes me good at what I do. And so I never fault someone for saying I'm busy and I'm doing all these things. We just don't often have the opportunity to sit down and think strategically. And so these types of tools help us organize our thoughts. They help us slow down and think strategically, right? Because we're always thinking, we always got great ideas. We always got these things we want to do, but we want to be able to slow down just a bit so you can say at the end of the day, well, I got something done. Maybe I didn't get all the things done, but I don't feel like I put all this input in, but I didn't actually achieve anything. So this is just one way to do that people have found helpful. So I'm glad that you now have an additional thing to think about to help you. I would love to hear from one or two other folks about, you know, what new insights you got from the exercise.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so this is Sam. My partner was Stacy, and I really resonated with what what's the person's name? Julian said. Stacy has no audio, so she and I couldn't. I don't know if Stacy's a male, female, black, white, or green, and we could not talk. She could hear my voice, but I could not hear her voice. So that made it extremely interesting. And hi, Stacy, hope you're doing well. She's in Chicago. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. And Julian said something that struck. it made me slow down. I asked questions, she answered them. There was a dialogue, and it was healthy. It was interesting. We didn't get too far, but I said, look at this. This is something that's happening to me that I had no control over, but I'm forced into it, but I like the feedback. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning writing to 7 to 11 p.m. at night, falling asleep with the computer in my lap on the couch and have to get up and go to the bed. So I'm constantly goal oriented, constantly driven to get as much done as possible. This little exercise made me slow down. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for sharing that. I want to take one other comment because there's just a few more things that I want to get to before we end this session today. And I'm always conscious about folks' time that we end when we say we end and start as close to when we say we're going to start as possible. So I would definitely want to take one more reflection from anybody who wants to share.
And Sam and Stacy, I love how y'all push through. Like y'all were presented with the, yes, you're gonna get a replay. Y'all were presented with this obstacle and y'all were like, you know, you could have just dropped, right? You could have dropped from the call, could have came back, said put me somewhere else, but y'all worked through it, and that was dope.
Come on, Sam, you're a coach.
Well, you know.
Any final thoughts or reflections from anyone?
I'll go. I had Latricia, and we both own cleaning companies. She's in Florida, I'm in Connecticut. And we talked briefly about that, but we started talking more about the actual exercise and the things that we had to do, and realized that even beyond the cleaning business, we kind of have the same goals as far as nonprofit work, community service work, and things of that nature. So I think being able to stop and kind of visualize it, and then not just visualize it, but to talk to someone about it, and then for us to ironically have the same kind of goals was great. It definitely she definitely has become somebody that I think that I will be checking in with, and making sure that she's on track with her goals, and hopefully she checks in on me and we can have that accountability thing going.
Thank you, Dee, because that was the second intentional part about this exercise. I realize that not everyone's going to be able to attend all our sessions, but it's great to use tools and all these different things to try to write down your goals and track them and measure them. But sometimes it's just great to have another person who can listen to maybe challenges or obstacles, or also somebody you can celebrate your successes with. And in the event that you all don't have the opportunity to join us for future sessions, we wanted to make sure that there was something we could incorporate that would allow you to connect with each other again. So the last part of our prompt in that activity was for you to exchange information with your partner. So if you have not done so just yet, please share your email address or your LinkedIn or your Facebook, whatever your preferred method of communication is and connection is. Share that with the person you were in your breakout groups with, either through a private chat message or some other way. Because I want to, one of the things that we're going to ask you to do after today and before the next session is to meet with your partner. So if you plan on attending, which we hope you plan on attending, the next group coaching session on April 19th, please connect with your partner before then, document that conversation, and come prepared to share. If you are both joining, we'll have some time at the beginning of that session for you to connect with each other and share. I can provide guidance, I can provide strategies that worked in the past, I can even share personal stories. However, there's nothing better than hearing from folks who are probably at the same place you are, been where you've been, or are where you're trying to get to, and hearing their feedback as well. So after today and before the next session, please register for the workshop that's being led by Samantha on February 15th, 2023. The links were put in the chat very early on. And then register for the next business coaching session on April 19th. We also have a networking event that will be coming up in the spring, which you can access through the link that Letitia provided at the beginning of our session. And because you were all here today, you'll be entered into a digital raffle to receive the Goal Getter, a productivity journal. So I am a person that likes to write things down because I actually go back and look at my notes and things that goals that I've set to see if I achieved them and things like that. I find that writing them down is helpful. So you all, because you came today, will get one of my favorite productivity journals, which is a Goal Getter. And so I'll put some names in a piece of software, and whoever wins, you will receive that gift. So I will reach out to you via email to get your mailing address, and it will get sent to you. And I want to ask if people have any other questions or thoughts before we do our one final thing. Awesome. So make sure you do those after today and before the next workshop things. You will get a copy of the recording as well as the presentation, as well as the goal visualization exercise in digital form, so that you can use that again if you found that exercise helpful. And in the spirit of Steve Jobs, one of my favorite people on earth, just want to do one last thing, which is leave you with a quote. That says, one part at a time, one day at a time, we can accomplish any goal we set for ourselves. So with that, I will close out the formal part of today's session and ask that Samantha or Letitia kind of do our exit, kind of exit greeting, if you will.
Yes, so thank you, Randy, for a phenomenal business coaching session today on our SMART goals. Ladies of the collaboration, y'all know we do this every Monday. We are on Zoom or in person, the first Mondays now, for Manifestation Monday, where it is our weekly goal setting and accountability call. Non-members, come get in here, become a member. I don't understand what the problem is, but y'all are welcome to visit Manifestation Monday once per year, but once is enough, because once y'all come, y'all keep coming. And so thank you, Randy. Randy talked about our next session in February that I will be facilitating, business certifications and capability statements. Get your questions ready, submit them in advance if you want, so I can include it in the deck. We have our public Facebook group that we invite you guys to join. Our email is on our website, cmwpnetworking.com. This has been a phenomenal session. If you guys need us in any capacity, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If there's any programming needs that you want to see, you feel like there's a void, a gap, come to us, talk to us. We'll provide it for you. If anyone has anything else, you're free to come off mute, share anything. Otherwise, it's time to go and work on them goals.
Thank you, Sam. You guys have a great day.
You too, Gregory and Sam. Thanks for stopping in. Gregory, you ended up not being the only male. Look at that.
Awesome. Have a great day, everybody.
You
also. Thank you, ladies, so much. I'm so appreciative to these classes, these courses. They mean a lot to me. And I am proud to see our women in power. We're getting there. God is great. We're there, guys. We're there.
That's right.
We have to say, use those words. We're there.
We are, use your words, right?
We're there. Let's go, sisters.